Hi, everybody. This is Mother Ann Schneer from Trinity Episcopal Church in Marshall, Michigan. It's about 9 o'clock, so that means it's time for our end of day time, our prayers and our song. I'm glad that you could be with us. I'm excited to keep telling stories from our Camino de Santiago trip last year. We are coming near the end of the trip. We have today and tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of when we got to Santiago, finishing out a 35-day journey. So we're really excited. It's going to be really cool. And today I have some special guests with me. I have my sister Kate and her husband Joe. Hi, guys.
Hi.
You should be able to talk. I think I'm going to do that. There we go. We can actually see each other a little bit better. I think you should also be able to see on your screen, you two, as people comment, they're there. So like Cousin Pat just said good evening. Can you see that on your screen someplace? Do you see comments?
Yep.
Awesome. So hi, Pat. Glad that you're here. And Randy. And you see that you guys want to say hi to Pat?
Hi, Pat.
Oh, good. And Wendy is here, and I'm excited for Wendy because we've got something special. There was a picture that I forgot that I had taken that's in our thing tonight. So I was thinking of Tony especially. So I was thinking of Tony and Beth last night because of the hedgehog. But there's another picture that I had with them in mind as well. I see Mama J is here. Oh, good. I'm glad. Mama J, you're getting better weather. It was 100 degrees where she lives yesterday. So 2 days under 80. That's a good start. Oh, wonderful. Okay. And I'll try not to just talk a blue streak the whole time. I'm used to being kind of on my own and filling all the blank space. But I see, like Cousin Pat said, that it's nice to see you two. And I think she doesn't mean me. I mean, she's probably happy to see me too. But like, you guys are the special ones. You're the extra treat. So what we'll do. Oh, Wendy's intrigued. Okay, I am going to add now. Let's see here. There we go. So here are our pictures. And you remember yesterday we had the longest day with Phoebe, and we got in very, very late. And so we were all very, very tired. And this is what Phoebe was suited up as in the morning to get going on our day's walk. On that day, let's see if I can get the summary.
I think she was trying to hide from the world.
Yeah, she
was that her breakfast at Tiffany's pose with the glasses.
With the glasses, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And so like the day before, we did 29.16 kilometers, which is 18.12 miles. That's what my little watch said that we did. And so this day was shorter. We only did 20.32 kilometers, which is 12.63 miles. So usually I'd been getting up really early in the morning, like before sunup, so that I could get a head start. And this day I was just too tired. So I left with the group, which was unusual for me. We were all moving a little slow. I think we were kind of wrecked from the day before. But Phoebe was a trooper. She only complained just a very little bit. She had a good breakfast. And so this is us leaving. You see Kate by the door and Matthew on the right. And he's wearing his rain jacket because it was a little misty outside. And you see anything with the timestamp here. And I think we can actually, so because we're in StreamYard, I have a cursor that you guys can see. So I can actually point out there's Matthew, there's Kate, and here's O Retiro. So anything with the timestamp is a picture that Joe took. We have our little Peregrino guy. There's Kate, ready to tackle the Camino.
Looking annoyed.
Waiting for everyone to get moving.
Hurry up, everybody, let's go.
Yeah. And Joan is here, Joan Hart. And Debbie is here also. And Noreen.
Hi.
So very misty and kind of cool, but damp. Here's another Peregrino guy. And so, Kate, maybe you can help, or maybe Joe, you might know too. So I was trying to remember, there are two languages in this area. There's Spanish, and is it Galician is the other language? Do you remember?
I think that's what they call it now. But
Yeah.
it's the whole Galicia area has a lot of Celtic roots. So there's actually some, like what you'd hear in Ireland,
Yeah.
mixed with Spanish.
And so, like here, normally you would see Camino without a tilde over the N, but here you see Camino do Peregrino instead of Camino de, well, Peregrino or Santiago is what we normally would see. So, that pops up every now and then.
You'll see that
This was
later
kinda
too when
fun.
we get tomorrow. There's
Yeah.
some stuff that Joe had seen where it's a DO instead of a DE.
Hmm.
But we
There
didn't
was
really
one
hear
where,
it spoken too much.
Yeah, and translate. It was so interesting to see it printed in some places, where it was translated once, but not into English. It was translated into Galician. So here, I don't know if you guys saw this. This is a van that is used to transport packs for peregrinos. So, as many times as Matthew and I had sent our pack ahead, which we did about once a week, we never actually saw a van with luggage inside of it where you could see. We'd see the van drive by us, and we'd be like, "Oh, there it goes. There's our stuff, probably." But this was like open, and they were loading, so that was kind of funny.
It really is just a van full of packs.
It's just a van full. I mean, like just some guy. It's Uber for backpacks. I loved this picture because we've got, when you think pizzeria, you obviously think skeleton with the Italian flag on its forehead,
Pirate pizza.
with a knife, with a fork and spoon, like crossbones.
Jolly Roger.
It's an Italian pirate pizzeria.
I'd eat there.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
we didn't because it was so early, but we could have. So, more beautiful doors, beautiful churches. And so, folks, I was showing this to Kate and Joe before. And so someone took a picture of Joe being intrigued by this staircase. It's not just a wall, it's a staircase. And apparently it really was interesting because there's Mom also looking at the staircase. And then that's the spot on the staircase. But I think so. Joe, do you want to talk about that just a little bit? What you might have been looking at?
I think if my memory serves me, Harriet and I were just looking at the fact that they didn't rebuild the staircase; they just covered it, so you can kind of see the original stone construction underneath, and then the covering is breaking away and revealing the original structure. And then the color of the plants is kind of cool too.
Yeah, it looks like stone, and then they like daubed over it or something. And Joe, I was also reading. Because we're kind of new to StreamYard as a group, I'm just going to answer your question so people know and Kate knows. Yes, you can chat. Like you can actually type into the chat that is going on here, and I can say, "Hello, everybody." And it should pop up there. So I'm posting as Trinity because I'm signed in to Trinity's account. And because we're streaming to Facebook and YouTube at the same time, I don't know about your feed. My feed, it shows that it posted in both formats or in both locations. So you guys are certainly more than welcome to talk to folks in the chat line too.
It looks like the only chat box entry I have is in what's called a private chat.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have a space to type in the comments.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's
So
weird.
Anne's lying.
Well, I'm just in control. I like because I've got the whole console, all the
Right.
stuff. So, well, if you find that you can click on something, go for it.
Yep, I'm looking around.
Let's see. So here we go. And you see there off in the distance is that yellow arrow, so we know which way to turn. this was interesting too. I mean, kind of like that wall where it's just like this is something you don't normally see in America much, or at least in our part of the United States. You've got the sort of stone pillars that are supporting, that extension, and then wooden beams that are going across, and are sort of teeing across also to support the floor, and then that kind of rough, almost like the tree bark on the outside. There was so much weird construction, or weird to us construction, that it just looked like people just went out and got whatever they could to build a house. Oh, Kate, did you see that Debbie wants to hear a story about me?
Oh, Lord.
There's so many. Where do we start?
How about the
You mean from the Camino or just in general?
How about the training story on Washington Island, up in Door County?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so really quick. So Anne and I decided to go to Door County, like right when she started her sabbatical, just so she could kind of ease into the Camino stuff. So we decided to go up to Door County and go to Washington Island because they had a knitting studio and you could buy yarn and all kinds of stuff. So we took the ferry without a car, right?
Right.
And
First, day one was without a car because it was full anyway.
Yeah, and we didn't run bicycles or anything. We're like, oh, it's only
7 miles.
Yeah.
So we're like, we gotta make it because we have to get back to the ferry by 5 p.m. or something. So we started walking and we made it like 3 miles to the lavender farm, and it was hot. It really wasn't really hot. We were getting warm. So we started to the lavender farm, and they have like, you can buy lavender lemonade and lavender marshmallows and all sorts of crazy stuff. So we hung out there for like, it was like an hour.
Air conditioning.
And then we're looking at the time, and we're like, I'm not sure we're gonna make it, but let's keep trying and let's pick a turnaround point. So we keep going, and then we finally realized we're not gonna make it to make it back to the ferry. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck on the island overnight, and we don't have a place to stay. So we get to like the airport, and then we realized we needed to turn around. So I can't remember if we backtracked or did we made a
Around.
loop. That's right.
Because once we got to the end of the airport, it didn't matter which way we went. And I, for one, was a little embarrassed to go past the lavender farm again.
Admitting that we made a mistake.
You're right.
Well, we had to ask them if we could like a taxi or something. And the guy that, there's one dude on the island that does taxiing, and we actually called him.
And he was in the Veterans Hospital. Like
On the mainland.
so no taxi that day.
It's like really silly. So we're like, well, that's not going to work. So there's no other places to ride bicycles or anything, so we had to hook it. And we're getting back, and I'm like, we're not going to make it. We are not going to make it.
And I'm like, we're gonna make it. Kate, you're faster than me. You go and tell them to hold the ferry.
And the other side herself, she's like trying to walk fast for a minute or two, and then go slower, and then speed up, and and I was just like, I just gotta go. So I just went ahead, and we had plenty of time. They were running behind.
And there was one guy from the lavender farm that was like mortified that we were trying to walk the whole thing, and he kept trying to stop and like have us get in his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no, we're good.
He's like, are you sure? It's like a little PT Cruiser or something. Are you sure you want to ride?
Oh, he was very sweet. But we got there. It was okay.
Yeah, it was. I was sweating bullets though. I was getting a little nervous.
Well, they say the Camino begins when you leave your home. So, it's a little pre-Camino.
I don't think I meant Door County, but
oh boy!
So needless to say, the next day we took the car again, so we could actually go see the knitting place.
Oh,
it was
so
beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice when we got there, and
Yeah.
we were glad not to have walked 7 miles to get there too.
Yeah, to be all sweating gross. Yeah.
Well, so here's the picture that I took for Tony, who's a community member that we're friends with, and I was like, Barosas, of course I have to take a picture of that because that's his last name is Barossa. So I was just like, hey, cool, I thought of you. Oh, so I'll say on your behalf, Kate, you're welcome, Debbie. Oh.
I got a lot more, Debbie. Don't worry. I don't know if we have time.
Well, and we'll still be doing these broadcasts. We just won't be talking about the Camino the whole time. So, we'll have telling tales on Anne, tonight.
I'll try to think of some good ones.
Oh, boy. So, let's see. Then we had this beautiful horse. Is this the horse where we met the guy from, oh, gosh, where was he from? Romania?
Croatia.
Croatia. So I don't have any pictures of him, but it was at this point that our group met this like giant guy from Croatia that was on the Camino also. And he was just like, his personality was as big as his frame. I mean, he was
awesome.
He was so much fun.
Well, he knew you though from back, throughout the days. Because when Kate and I met him, the first words out of his mouth were, "Where's Anne?"
Everybody knew her. It was the weirdest thing. We'd walk up to people and I forget why they would ask. You're like, "Oh, you're Anne's sister. Where is she? Where did she go?" Like, everybody on the Camino knew Anne. Joe and I decided that she was the mayor of the Camino. Is that what we said?
Something like that.
I think so.
Everybody knew who she was. It was hilarious.
Well, when you start early and you walk slow, everybody passes you.
Right. And you say
And then
hi
they-
to everyone.
And then
And there should be a picture tomorrow of him in the pictures that we took.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He wears a very specific shirt for the last day,
That's right.
so
That's
I'll leave it
right.
at that. But you'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah, the red and white checker to match the airport.
That's the one. Yep.
Oh man. So we have this beautiful horse, and then you see, we did get.
Story about that horse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold
Is there
on.
a story?
We pulled over and he was leaning over the fence, you can see. And I think I petted him, maybe your mom did. And the joke was that horse was not giving out, what do they call those?
Stamps.
We asked the horse, he was giving stamps. So,
That's right.
that's it.
And,
What's
and
it?
didn't the
Sales,
Croatian
yeah.
guy say that he could sit on your credential and stamp it that way?
Like,
Yeah. And that's how he met Mom. Like, Mom was right
Mhm.
there in the mix for all the jokes about horse poop. So this looks a lot stormier to me than I remember it, but apparently it was plenty overcast that day.
sorry, our dogs are kind of barking.
That's okay. Let's see. And we're walking. And we're walking. And again, you see more traffic here. I mean, this is already more people on the road than Matthew and I'd seen most of the trip. There's Joe. You have to go over a highway.
Even after walking for this would have been our fourth day. That's the first major road we saw.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a strange experience, almost like a novelty to walk over the road, and even though there weren't any cars.
Which is why we took a picture.
Most of the towns were just buildings, and
Mm-hmm.
so it was. I guess that's why we took a picture. Yeah.
And it's got 2 lanes in each direction. Like, it's like
It's legit. Yeah.
we've all seen much bigger highways, but like for that area, it's like crazy. We're taking a break.
Oh, do you see what's in the background there?
Oh yeah. There we go. So actually there are like 4 or 5 pictures as the herd travels by.
We
but
had
I
a
only-
video too, and I forgot to.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah, because there were goats too. So all those cows would pass through, and then there was a whole herd of goats that came
Oh,
after that.
wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. Another one of those magic portal sort of roads where it's like the trees and the dirt and everything.
So that's very reminiscent of the Natchez Trace down in the southern part of our country. The road is actually sunken because it's been so heavily traveled
Wow.
that it actually creates its own trench. I don't know if that's what happened here. I'm assuming it did, but yeah, that's pretty common.
It could be over, thousands of, well, not thousands, hundreds of years. There you are. And then we have our beer garden, like a garden made of beer bottles, pretty much.
Yeah, so this one, there's two of these.
Mhm.
This is the original location, and then the owners changed. The original owners moved up the road, which we actually stopped at later. But yeah, I'll tell about the tradition when we get to the one we stopped at. It's kind of weird to see.
So you're saying that there were two, oh, so you'll tell it at that when you get to the other location?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And when we try that,
This one was only, I don't know,
9:30 in the morning, and the beer they serve is rather potent, so we thought we should probably keep going.
makes sense. That's always a danger, is drinking too much and then slowing down too much. It's really neat to see. And guys, I noticed, so the echo gets better when I mute whoever's not speaking, because you're in the same room. So Kate, I'm not trying to hush you up.
That's okay.
Yeah, all these crazy things. And then
There were a
corn.
lot of bottles, yeah.
And by the time, so this is when I got there. So by the time I got there, all that crowd was gone. Missed whatever mid-morning or lunch rush or whatever it was. This was just so cool looking. Strawberries growing out of this boot. And there's been I'm part of a forum that was just discussing, well, what do you do with your boots when you need to retire them? I can't bring myself to throw away my boots. And I kind of feel that way about mine, even though they're just shoes. I mean, they're not even that cool looking like that boot. So a lot of people do planters or decorations or something in their garden with them. You see, here's a tennis shoe also. Palm trees. We didn't see a lot of palm trees. There's Kate being dazzled by something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking at there. I mean, the bush behind me is pretty cool, but
Yeah. And these are what, hydrangeas, I think?
I don't. It was weird, though, because they must not have been open yet. But the blue in the middle was just it's just really pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, really cool. It's funny. And then, of course, someone wanted to put a song in our heads. So we have I Will Walk 500 Miles on this wall. So as you're walking the next several miles, you're thinking, I would walk 500 miles. That was like the anthem for everything.
And Joe and I were thinking, no, we won't.
Casey, go lay down. Go lay down. Oh boy. He's all weird. Yeah, he always gets weirded out when I am in here alone talking to nothing. So here, it's kind of hard to see. We are down to 29.890 kilometers. So we're below 30, which is super exciting. And then here it says Obrigada Vida, which is thank you, life in Portuguese. Obrigada is one of the few words in Portuguese that I know. Oh, there's our 29. And so here is the other one. So I'm going to mute Kate so we can hear Joe better.
Yeah, so I don't know how many pictures you have in here, but so that basically the story is that the beer that is served here is only for Peregrinos. It's a special beer that they brew. It's fairly high alcohol content. I didn't think it was very good, to be honest with you, but So anyway, that's the beer, and then so that's the tradition is when you stop at one of these two places, you get a bottle of beer, you drink it, except for Phoebe, of course. And then what you do is you actually get a marker and you write some message on the bottle, and that was my message.
Yeah.
And then you kiss the bottom of the bottle and you put it on the shelf in the back. You can see them all lined up. So there's Matthew kissing his bottle. And then you put them up there, and then you just leave them there for so you can. The next people that come by can just grab the bottles and start reading, and either getting inspired or discouraged or laugh, whatever it may be. And I don't know how often they clean them out. I think we did find some that were at least a couple of years old, but you can imagine how many people come through and do that.
Yeah.
So there are probably at least 1,000 of them there, if not more, at the place we stopped.
Well, Matthew's here says ice cream. And yours said suffer your own Camino.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back because the pictures just got a little separated because they're all sorted in this program by timestamp. So this is another one of my favorite pictures, and I really wish that I had Mom posing in this picture because Jesus didn't start El Camino. What's that, Kate?
I laughed so hard when I saw that when we were walking by that. I just cracked up.
And I really just want you to be like, Mom, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Because I'm sure the whole point is like, okay, Jesus didn't. First of all, Jesus didn't walk.
Jesus didn't walk El Camino at all.
at all.
So pretty flowers that, of course, we had to take pictures of. And there, so that's there were sort of beer pictures and flower pictures that were all kind of in the same area during this lunch break. And this was a spot where I actually caught up with you guys. So here's Phoebe. Everybody's enjoying. I think it was hamburgers, right?
Yeah.
I think people are getting burgers. And I usually if there's a picture that's really similar, I would not show both. But I really like this full bottle. And I think this is Kate maybe on the other side of this half empty bottle. I just kind of like that picture.
That's funny. I never noticed that.
And Joe, you're normally not a big beer drinker, right? You enjoyed it on this trip, but that's not normally your go-to drink, right?
Correct. Yep. Like I said, though, I didn't really care for this stuff, but I did drink it to follow the tradition.
It was a little sweet.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
I like this guy. He's like my favorite little graffito guy. No, the dog is doing a little dance. Hold on a second.
Like this, where you and I are supposed to entertain, Kate.
Song and dance. So I do just have to say that the whole kissing the bottom of the bottle thing, I had read that somewhere, and I was telling you guys about it, and you just were making fun of me for that. Like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And then Matthew decided he was going to do it, so I had to take a picture. So I wasn't making it up.
I don't know if Anna's still talking.
She's unmuted if she is.
Hi, it's my first night. I've never done this before. I thought I'd unmuted myself. Sorry. I feel weird looking down and texting while I'm, on, stream. So, but I texted Phoebe to come get the dog because I worry that he's going to do a little potty dance. So then, of course, we had ice cream. So Matthew's wish came true. I was telling the group that watches that we basically would get up early, walk for a while, have breakfast, walk for a while, have coffee, walk for a while, have lunch, walk for a while, have ice cream. And then you get to wherever you're going and you have your dinner. So here's our ice cream break. And this is where we did get to see this big guy in the background. That big giant statue. There's me enjoying my ice cream.
Yeah.
But this dude here. And also, I think, Joe, isn't this maybe where Ian from Ireland was going down the wrong path with a couple of young ladies,
Yep.
and you like chased them down and said, "No, you got to go that way."
Yep. That's my trail angel moment.
Yes. So like everybody got to be a trail angel once.
By then I was feeling strong, so I was able to run with my pack on.
Yeah. Well, wow. I don't think I ever did that unless I like had to get out of the way of a car or something. Like if I was under threat of death or injury, you know. So this is after ice cream going on.
So this little area, I think by this point your dad's knee was starting to bug him, and there was actually
Yeah.
a split trail. You could have gone left, which took a little longer route, but got to go past a couple of little churches, or go straight. And Harriet and Dexter went straight, and we took the longer route.
That's
But
right.
I remember he was beginning to struggle by this point. You'd kind of guide him. And
I think this was the day that Dad started, well, on my advice, walking backwards down hills with
Yep.
assistance because his knees were bothering him so much going. It wasn't going uphill; it was going downhill.
Yep.
And that's actually something that I'd done quite a bit early on when we were going up and down those big mountains. There's one really long stretch that had a really steep decline, and my legs were so tired I was afraid I was going to fall, that my legs would just give out. But it was flat, it was paved, but really slippery. So I just like did the backwards thing. And so when Dad was having problems, I walked forward and held him by the forearm. We kind of did that, and then Dad went backwards. I don't know if he seemed to think it helped him, but this was the last day that he walked. Did he take a cab for part of the day too, or did he walk the rest of the way? Do you remember?
he was stubborn and decided he wanted to do the whole day. And unfortunately, that sort of took him out of commission for the last day, which would have been nice to all finish together. But I think they took a cab the entire next day
Yeah.
because of his needs.
Stubborn seems to run in our family, I think. Right, Kate?
What?
So here, it's kind of hard to see. This is kind of an interesting, let's see if I can, oh, that's a little too close. But yeah, here's a little sort of map thingy. I think you get a little more on the real screen than you do there. So here's our little pilgrim in Albergue Privado, Capoleta Santa Irena. Sort of fun. At this point, like if you can see any interesting signs about the Camino, that's always fun because you've seen so many signs at this point. There's that same church. And then are these the eucalyptus trees? We're starting to get into a part of Spain where they have a lot of eucalyptus trees. And these, I seem to remember they were tall and kind of bare down below, but I don't know if that's actually correct. But they were really
because
tall
these
and
looked like
pretty.
they had no bark on them. It was very weird looking.
And what? Another village. These were really weird flowers. Here's Joe hanging.
Grapevines.
Yep. Because he's actually ready to pose, but there I am in the way. So there he is.
I like thinking that these two pictures were
When you're approaching, I'm standing there saying, "Hey, there's something really cool to look at," and you're like, "I don't care. I'm just going to keep walking." You just walk on by.
Seen it. Don't care. I want to sleep under a roof tonight. Yeah, Matthew and I gave up like going into every little small town church about 2 weeks before you guys joined us. We were just kind of over a lot of the scenery at that point. So that's why we would love to do the same route again, but take more time and take rest days so we could really enjoy the towns as we go through.
I did take
Flowers.
one more picture of you, Anne, just by yourself.
Oh, did
With those
you?
grapevines because it just looked really cool. But you
Oh.
apparently deleted it.
I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't know what I looked like.
It just looked cool because you're like walking away, and I don't know, it was neat.
I'll have to go look again. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Found
there,
it.
right there.
Yeah, so the timestamps. So I probably took a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
pictures of flowers or something in between. Here we go. Yay. I'm not the worst sister.
And neither am I. 'Cause I took the picture.
Yeah. See, I thought that this building was the next day, but apparently it's this day. This sort of decrepit building where things, the roof is falling in. I totally had this place wrong because I thought this was near the church where we all met each other tomorrow, the next day where we all sort of coalesced in that one spot. But I guess not.
Those are beautiful. You can get those trees, by the way.
What was that, Joe?
Those trees from before were eucalyptus trees.
Oh, were they? Cool. This, you don't see a lot of shiny gold or brass type shells. We saw a lot of paint, we saw a lot of stone, but not a lot of this sort of shiny finish. There's Mom and Dad, still at it.
Yay.
Oh, when they ship their packs. I see they don't have their big backpacks.
Yep.
19.743. Go. And then at the end of the day, okay.
Oh,
You guys remember
this
this
is
place?
the best meal. Oh my God. This food
So,
was
Kate,
amazing.
Do you want to tell us what's so special about this specific restaurant too? Like what was unique about it?
Yeah, so they had one thing on the menu. You could pick one thing, and it was like a whole. It's kind of like when you go to the melting pot and you get the appetizer and the main course and the dessert. Like it was one whole package, no other options. Did they even take credit cards? It was very.
They didn't. I forgot.
Yeah, so,
it was cash only.
Yeah, so this is it. If you don't like it, take a hike. So it was. So we were like checking with everybody to make sure that everybody was cool because it's beef, and we all decided, well, let's try it. It should be fine, and it was amazing. The food was so good, and I think you got vegetables and potatoes or something, and bread, and I mean, it was like a ridiculous
Salad.
amount of food. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. But they bring it on these really hot plates. I mean, like cast iron plates, and was the meat raw that we put it on there? I was trying to remember.
Yeah, you actually cook it.
You cook it. It's like
I
a
think
hot stone. Wasn't it
I
a
think
stone?
it's a stone.
Okay.
And it's like 1,000 degrees or something. Because I remember the waiter had scars all over his arms
Oh.
from carrying those plates. But yeah, that's the picture there.
And so we actually. So this is a plate of raw veal. It was veal, which I always felt really guilty about eating, but it was so good. Like, ooh, cows, your babies taste good. It looks like Pat is signing off because she's going to Skype with her daughter. But it's wonderful to see you, Pat.
Oh.
Have a good night.
Hi, Pat.
Yeah.
So they send out this raw plate of meat, and then you cooked it the way you wanted it on the stone. And we ordered two for the family servings, large servings for the 7 of us. And then we ended up actually asking for another stone because it was taking us so long. We were talking so much, we weren't like really focused on cooking as much. And then here the ever-present French fries, big old plate of French fries.
Mm-hmm. And your buddy in the back behind Mom.
Yes, from Korea.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't even remember her name. Like we met that night, or like during the day, and then that day, and then the next day was the last one. So that was always fun. You meet your Camino friends. We're looking tired. Look at Phoebe. That poor kid. What you put her through.
She's got a great face there.
Oh, she really does. And then of course Vino Tinto. And then here on the back of this chair, so this is the beer that Joe and Matthew really enjoyed, the Estrella.
But you can't find it anywhere in the States.
It's really hard to find.
You have to go back to Spain.
Yeah, I guess so. So the waiter took this picture of us, I think, or no, maybe it was the lady from Korea. But someone stood up and took the picture for us, and I love that people are like photobombing in the back. Like this guy is just like, hi.
Yeah, pretty much everybody back there is looking at the camera.
You're all
Yeah.
looking over here.
And then so here, this is another fun thing. So we have these signs here. I thought maybe Kate, you could help me translate. So atención, I think you know what that means. But what cerramos de whatever that 1630.
Yeah, that's when they're open,
Yeah.
obviously.
No cobramos
Tarjetas card.
card. Okay, so
So,
what does
so one
cobramos?
card is, what's it?
What does cobramos mean? Do you know?
I forget. I haven't been brushing up on my Spanish, man.
Yeah.
Go down to the bottom.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah, they only serve meat. They only sell. Vendemos is sell. We
Yes.
sell. We only sell meat.
So no vendemos ni pizzas, ni hamburguesas, ni platos prefabricados, ni platos combinados. So no pizzas. So don't ask. No hamburgers. No pre-made plates.
Yeah,
Platos prefrigados. No combination plates. We only sell meat. Like solo vendemos carne.
yeah, and they, because you know, a lot of the pilgrim meals are combination this, that, and the other thing. So I'm sure they get asked
Yeah.
that all the time.
Well, and if you look them up on Yelp, people, people love it because they know what they're into, what they're in for, or people hate it and they're like, this place is the worst. They only have one thing on the menu and they're so rude about it. We had a great time.
Yeah, it was really good.
I would definitely do this again. And we just kept eating and eating. And this was also the place where we went with, there was an American woman that I met on the Camino that day or the day before, and she was just really, really super sweet and was walking with another lady who was older, like in her 70s, who should not have been walking by herself. And was not conditioned. She wasn't prepared. She just couldn't do it on her own. And so this woman like walked so long with her. It was so nice. And then the older lady ended up having a hygiene issue on the road, and I sort of stumbled along at that moment. So I got to help with that. So it was the two younger women helping the older woman with her it was a digestive issue. And then the other younger woman ended up coming to this restaurant with her family that night. So she actually came over and said, come meet my family, because we sort of bonded over this really bizarre incident. And it was just so, like, I couldn't believe how nice she was that she spent so long. I really liked walking by myself, and I appreciated not being sort of linked with anyone for really long. I mean, even Matthew and I would walk plenty of time by ourselves. But yeah, this woman who just was staying with the older lady was just really, really nice, and I was so impressed with her. But it was just one of those goofy things where we got to say goodbye to each other pretty much, because I don't think we saw each other ever again.
Joe and I saw her in Santiago.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
that's
the one that
funny.
recommended. So we went to Barcelona after Santiago, and she
right.
was the one who recommended some places in Barcelona, because we kept running into her all over the place. It was really weird. Yeah. She's a super nice lady. I don't remember her name, but I can picture what she looks like. But it was really cool that we kept running into her later,
Oh, that's
because
funny.
you told us who she was this
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
Very, wow, neat. then this is us leaving, and I don't know what Phoebe's doing with her hair, but it looks awesome.
I don't know. We all look kind of.
Yeah, we're all sort of discombobulated. Oh. And then another one of those really tall pillar type crosses. Oh, let me go back. So here's Mom putting her hand on the statue.
Of the big chicken.
But back here in the background, right on the other side of this bush, see where it says Pharmacia. You, Kate and Joe, you guys know this, but I'm sorry, I missed this, that Wendy had commented 6 minutes ago, Annyeong, because
I didn't see that.
because I told the group that I tried to say hello and whatever, or learned how to say hello in whoever's language, and I already knew Korean, just that one word in Korean because of Arrested Development. Oh, well played, Wendy.
Nicely
but
done.
so-
Nicely done.
Yeah. So back here, in the background, behind this bush, we should have taken a picture of it. It says Pharmacia, and they had a pharmacy vending machine that was mounted in the wall of the building, and so you could get your Band-Aids or your aspirin or whatever, and you just punch in your numbers and pay your money like you would get a Coke or something, but it was pharmacy supplies, which on a Sunday is really good to have. There's Mom. Do you guys know anything about the statue? I don't remember anything about it. No?
I don't
Okay.
recall.
Matthew would probably know because he's like the Rooster King. He knows all the rooster stories from all the different towns.
Oh,
There's
that's
some
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just weird. There it is. And then Camino de Santiago. And Campos Futbol Polideportivo. So something
Yeah.
happened there. Yeah, Olympic-ish. So those are our pictures. That's our day. So
Quite
for
a bit
those
easier
of
than
you
the
who are,
prior day.
what's that, Joe?
Quite a bit easier than the prior day.
Oh my gosh, yes, and shorter. Less frustrating in so many. Well, and because we traveled a little bit closer together, we didn't have to worry about the SIM cards for our cell phones quite as much. Oh, I'm sorry. So Casey is so bored, he brought a ball over to me to play. Yeah, and much more pleasant overall as far as the walking goes. Not, but the stories aren't quite as good. There's always a trade-off.
They can't all be amazing, right?
That's right. That's right. So tomorrow is our last day of the Camino journey, and we may end up doing one day on Santiago just because there was so much. We were there for 4 days.
Something like that,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't just leave right away. So there are some nice pictures and stories of things that we saw there too. But tomorrow you'll get to see the people that are watching with us will get to see what it was like to get there, which is really, really amazing. And Kate and Joe, thanks so much for calling in today. This was so nice to be able to share stories with you.
Yeah, I kind of wish we'd called in with Mom and Dad or Phoebe yesterday too.
Well, we have a couple days left, so we could do it. Well, tomorrow I've got vestry tomorrow, so it's going to be kind of a madhouse anyway. But maybe Wednesday when we're talking about actually being in Santiago. Although I can imagine the whole Brady Bunch thing. There'd be so many faces on the screen that there wouldn't be any room for pictures.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, so the next thing that we do, I'm going to take my screen out here. Where are we? Remove. There. So it's just us. So the next thing that we do is our prayers and our song. So let me get my cards here and get my head on straight. And so when we get to the song part, Kate and Joe, if you care to sing along, you're totally welcome to. But you'll mute yourselves so that we don't end up with echoes and delays and things. And folks at home, I don't think I have slides for this song tonight. We may have done it before. I can't quite remember. So what we'll do, it's a real simple one. It's C key first, which a lot of us already know anyway. So you're welcome to sing along from home as well. So is everybody more or less ready? All right. First thing we do is we light our candle. Here. Yeah, you can see that okay? Okay, here we go. So tonight we're praying with special intention for the standing committees of the dioceses of Western Michigan and Eastern Michigan. We're praying for Gretchen. And who is the governor in Wisconsin, guys?
Tony Evers.
Tony. So Gretchen and Tony, we'll pray for both of them. Praying for Donald, Dana, Wayne, Judy, Phil, Diana, Mike, Kimberly, for those working to achieve a greater experience of justice, especially for the youth of our nation. For Luke, Mama J, Sheila, for an anonymous loved one, Dolly, Tom, Paul and Pat, Bob, Mac, and for all school systems, superintendents, school boards, teachers, and students, especially as we come to the close of the summer and everyone is trying to decide what to do and how to keep people safe and educated as we move forward in this coronavirus time. Praying also for, in our directory, praying for Mary and Peggy, Diana, Tom and Carolyn, Dick and Abby, Murphy, Linda, Jim and Jan, and Dave and Margaret. And we're also praying for Cornerstone Church here in Marshall, for their leadership and their people. For all public safety officers, especially police, sheriff, and fire departments. For hospice patients and caregivers. For all who are sick and those who are caring for them. For the patients and staff and medical professionals at Oak Lawn, Bronson, and Borges hospitals. And for Meadow Lodge of Marshall, also known as Tender Care. And in our Compline prayers, we'll close this out. O God, your unfailing providence sustains the world we live in and the life we live. Watch over those both night and day who work while others sleep, and grant that we may never forget that our common life depends upon each other's toil. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And so our song tonight, like I said, is Seek Ye First. It's hymn 711, and actually, usually I can at least put up a card with the page number on it, but I have to write it backwards. It's been a while since I've done this, so I think I got it. No, that is backwards, isn't it? StreamYard, you're confusing me. Does that look right? Yeah, that looks right. I forget what format I was doing that it had to be backwards. Switching back and forth between all the different StreamYard and OBS and all that sort of stuff, my brain gets mixed up. So it's 711, and it's Seek Ye First is the hymn. And you guys are welcome to sing along if you'd like. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Alleluia, alleluia. 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 Hallelujah. Well, I hope that you guys at home had fun, and Kate and Joe, you are also in your home, but I hope that you had fun too. It's so weird to be able to talk to faces, because usually I'm just talking to like myself, and then I watch the little ticker to see like who's watching this, you know. So it's nice to have faces to talk to tonight. And I thank all of you guys that joined us from home. Thank you, Debbie. Have a wonderful night. Sharon and Wendy and Patton's already left the conversation. It was just wonderful. I hope it was a nice way to end your day. And Kate and Joe, thank you again so much for joining me also. Have a wonderful night. Everybody get some good rest. Get re-energized so that you can tackle the day tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay, take care. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Kate. Bye, Joe. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you.